I want to say I'm excited, but I don't think that describes how I'm feeling right now. I'm pumped, I'm humbled, I'm grateful to have, I consider my friend, Louis Fuller, on the Rising With podcast. Welcome, Louis.
Thanks, Tess.
And it
Yeah,
is Louis, isn't it? It's spelt Lewis, but it's Louis.
yeah. It's Louis, but Dad sometimes calls me Lewis, sometimes
Uh,
Louis, but Mum always calls me Louis, and I think Mum sort of come up with a name. So,
yeah, we'll go with
and
Mum.
yeah, we'll go Mum.
Mumsy. If I were to introduce you, I would introduce you as a creative, as a business owner, and as a musician. How would you introduce yourself?
Yeah, well, that's pretty much spot on. Like I didn't finish year 12, and I was, pursuing golf back then full time. So I went from, the teachers at Westminster were really good. They said, if what are you going to do? And I said, oh, well, I'm going to play music, I'm going to play golf, or, I'm not going to be going to uni really or anything like that. So, so my creative brain has always been, I've been writing songs since I was like 6 years old. So I'm doing another album this year, which is awesome in Port Lincoln at Soundrise Studios. So that's pretty
That's your
wicked.
brother's studio.
Yep.
How
Yeah. Right,
exciting.
Fuller. Yep. So I did an album in 2009 and 2010, back to back, all originals. And then literally the last 10 years, I was still playing golf, like pursuing professionally, but the last 10 years of all my songs I've written, of the journey I've had, I've got about 16 that I've sort of, my favourite 16 that I'm going to put into an album. So that's happening this year. But this year is going to be a massive year for myself and for a lot of people. I think we've got a lot going on.
Yeah, I
Go
feel
on.
that too. I feel especially for the creatives of the world, I feel like last year sort of um, put us all into that. Well, if you are a creative, put us back into that mode because we're home more. And it's almost like last year was planting all the seeds, and this year everything's coming to fruition.
Yeah.
That's how
Yeah,
I feel.
it's so true. And like my true passion is helping people, and that is like genuinely that, just whether it's for free or money, whatever it is, just the transfer of energy of a thank you is enough for me to spend 2-3 hours on the phone just to a fella. Right? And daily I'm doing that, but that's my true passion, and that's where the bone broth comes into it with this little business, the Fuller Liquid Gold, because that's this little gateway that I love to drink myself, and it's just come the home business, and now it's getting bigger and bigger, and we've got steps and process to the more bone broth we can make and get to people, the more people I can help, and then have the intermittent fasting and the physical way and the physical side of that actually helping people. But I'm a true believer of holistic healing, and a massive believer of just the energy that you put inside you, and also what you put out, negative or positive, is what's going to come back. And in 2020, there's literally 10 fellas, or probably 8 or 9 fellas I haven't directly helped, but there's been 8 fellas that have literally either had rehab or changed a lot in 2020. And I've got a lot of mates, but I just couldn't believe, out of all these fellas that I've talked to and catch up with, 2020 is this awakening. Like, it's just like boom, 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 and they're up and down, and then some actually went to rehab, some did their own thing. I've mentored a few others as well, and 2020 for myself, was it's the way you look at it. And I don't want to tell people 2020 is an awesome year, because it might come across arrogant and stuff like that, and it's just like, or too positive or whatever. But 2020 for myself and Kristen was a really good eye-opener, because we get to spend time together. And I think everybody realised how much of a community we need to be to, be together and support each other, whatever's going around in the world, and how much, it's, you just need each other. We're social beings. We cannot be isolated. If you go on an island, we'll go crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, just going back to helping people in that holistic way is yeah, I love talking about it. There's so many things like this, just like with my broth and my wine, and my music. Like my wine's called Love Juice, like that word love. I intentionally like putting my attention goes and intentionally goes into the veggies that I'm chopping up with love and thanking the sun and that while I'm cooking. And then I'll do that, and the broth is tasty. And the wine is very similar. I literally, when I make that wine, I'm thankful for the grapes and the vines. When we do the ferment, I'm there. And in the barrel, I literally have my hands on it and just like, thank you, like, because you're going to bring people together. And it tastes like, might be a bit modest in that, but it tastes amazing. Like, I'm so
I
proud
can
of it.
vouch, especially for the wine. I love juice.
Yeah, but I honestly believe you can taste the love in it. Like if you sit down and just like without talking to people, and you just have a drink and close your eyes and just have a drink, it's a little bit woo-woo, but I'm a true believer. And one of those beliefs is because I went into Masaru Emoto. He's a Japanese fella, and he did testing on water, and it's the crystal testing. So it was like in 1970 or 80, I think it was. And so he had three the exact same water structure from the same tap, and then he had threes where you'd put love, gratitude, and thank you, and then the other water you'd put hatred, you devil, I'm going to kill you, you suck. And then he crystallized it till it got to an actual snowflake. And time after time after time, all the love, gratitude, and that snowflake, all that, when they crystallize with this perfect like snowflake, they're just amazing and beautiful. And the ones that were hatred, you devil, like, I'm going to kill you, were deformed, looked really sick and just like dark and that. And then he did another test where he actually just put the word on the bottle and did the same, like love. No, didn't put the intention of that into the water, just that. And the same test started happening. And so his, background is we're made up of 70% water. And so if we're telling ourselves, oh, I'm not good enough, Mrs. cheated on me and it's my fault because I should have been paying more attention, or why the kids, I fucking hate myself, my job sucks, all this shit. Like, you're putting that into your body, and there's a common denominator there that I believe that's going to affect you eventually down the track. So with that, even when I read that, it just to what I believe, and I've always had that little belief of like, putting out good vibrations and good energy, and just reading that book, the hidden messages in water, that's what it's called, by Masaru Emoto, Japanese fella. And when I read that, I was just like, wow. And now I didn't, and that was only like a year ago. And then I like called my wine the Love Juice, and then I put so much love and attention to the broth and my music, and I'm like, well, there's something to this. This is not a coincidence.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's the ripple effect of all of that.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about before, you're not just helping that one person. You may be talking to that one person, or that one person may drink the broth or drink the wine, and then they tell someone else about it, or it makes them feel good, and then they pass on that energy onto other people. So I find in my work too, I only have a few clients at the moment, and I'm happy to admit or say that, but I know the bigger picture. It's not just about helping that person, it's about helping their family. It's about helping the family to break those generational ties, to help the community.
Yeah,
for
100%.
me, I have always seen you as super positive. I'm so drawn to you. I always watch your Instagram and your Facebook. Is there moments that you do feel those lower vibrations, have those lulls, and how do you sit in them Do you allow yourself to sit in them, or how do you, I don't want to use the word balance, but how do you move through the rhythm of being a human being?
Yeah, it's a great question. Personally, the last 5 years, I've been on this massive inner growth and biohacking. And really, it's probably the last 6 months I've got to this point where, and it's become like I've meditated for 8 years and stuff. And I still have, like, say, the little lows and stuff, but I've been practicing daily to rewire my brain. So whatever happens, I can give myself nearly 2 or 3 minutes of whatever it is. And, you just never know what's going to happen. Someone might pass away, it's really close to you, or you have an accident or whatever. But what I've learned over the last few, I'll just hold on a sec. I've just got the broth overflowing a little bit.
No, I'll talk while you're doing that, because I'm just going to keep this rolling.
Yeah, no. I've got a little business going. That's all good. I can keep going.
No, well, I was just going to say, I can relate to that because I've done the work in quotation marks. And this week, especially, actually the last 2 weeks, I've been going through things. I went through a bit of a health thing. I went through a bit of a tough time. Like, I'm a new co-parent, and like, life is hard and it sucked.
Yeah.
But I knew what to do to not be consumed. I went to the beach yesterday. I had a bath. I gave myself a facial. I ate a big salad. Like, whereas maybe a year ago, 2 years ago, if I had been going through a low like that, it would have wiped me out for like a month. But I give myself maybe a day, maybe it's not even a day. And you just have those tools, and it's that habitual stuff, almost like your brain goes, hold on, I actually know how to get you back into alignment. Let's do those things that you've practiced, that you've put in place over time. And it's okay to go through those lulls, but you can just sort of move through them freely.
Yeah, and that's so right. You get, like, I was the same. You get caught in that vortex, and it might last like for 6 months or so. But yeah, the last 5 years of me just learning and biohacking, and just all the gurus and all the people that I admire through spiritual, physically, emotionally, all these different people, and then me seeing the common denominator of what these people do. It might be, say, intermittent fasting or meditation or cold therapy or infrared sauna, manifestation. So I've got like 200 books in my audio account, Audible account. So I've just from everything. And then I pinpoint little things off them. So, they're all doing that, I'm going to try that. They're all doing that, I'm going to try that. So you see this common denominator. So that's where I've sort of learned all my stuff. And I got into a really bad hole when I gave up golf. Actually, moving back.
Can we go back to the golf?
Yeah. Actually, can I? Yeah, move. Where I first ever come across like this manifestation and positivity, it was when I was 8 years old. I was playing cricket in Streaky Bay, because born in Port Lincoln, grew up in Streaky, came over here when I was 11.
In Adelaide.
Yeah, in Adelaide, and I was, at that time, I was 8 years old, and it was this sort of cool thing to say, I was batting. I'm like, I'm going to get out for Golden Dark. I'm going to I bet you'll get out for Golden Dark. Went out there Saturday, boom, got out in Golden Dark. And I was shocked. I was like, no, how did that happen? It's like, I said it, but it's not going to happen. So I forgot about it. The next week, I'm like, all right, if that works for that, I'm going to, I'm 8 years old, so I have no idea what I'm doing. So I'm like, I'm going to make the most runs I've ever made. I'm going to crush it today. The most amount of runs I'd made at that time, I'd probably 16. I ended up making like 64 runs, and I didn't get out, and we won, because that's why we stopped batting. And that was my first ever time in my head, I'm going, wow, like, there's something to this. And so
when did you remember that?
I only remembered that.
Known it.
No, I've only literally remembered that the last couple months, not kidding. I forgot about it. I was going through my memories, and I was just trying to work out, like, where have I got to stem this from? And all the way back from birth, like, even going back, I was born under hypnosis, C-section with mum and TD with no drugs. So I was born into this world cut open with no drugs under a full hypnotic trance.
That's
Mum.
amazing.
So I think that has a big, massive influence on how I am. I'm a true believer in that. So that's going back 33 years ago. So going back to that, and then when I went into golf, so then I'm like, fake it till you make it. That was my motto. And I was just like, I'm going to win, and I won. And then I'm like, I'm going to win this, and I won. And then I got to a really, really high level at a junior age, playing with Jason Day, who got to number 1 in the world, and he's a golfer, mate of mine, who I grew up with. And then I just sort of lost. I knew what I wanted, but I was forcing it too much, and I got really like I couldn't get the results I wanted. I wasn't clear enough, and I was just this loss. And I went up to Broome, lived up, and then hooked up with Kristen. We went up to Broome, and then we come back, and then kept pursuing. Made these 2 albums, kept pursuing, and then it got to 2015, and that's when I hit rock bottom. And I wanted to tell everyone that I was quitting golf, but I couldn't because I had my sponsors, had all this financial support that people had been surrounding myself with. I was like number 2 in Australia in golfing as juniors. And I just felt like I was letting all these people down. And I couldn't even tell Kristen. And it took me 6 months I knew I wanted to quit, and I just couldn't. And we drove back from Port Lincoln one time, and we're driving back. And I was going to tell at the start, and then I've told this story before in another podcast, but I'll tell it again. And then driving back, and then we're driving into Glenelg where we live, and I'm just I just started bawling my eyes out, and I'm driving, and Kristen had no idea what was going on for
No, I'm laughing.
And I'm like, mate, it's all right. She's like, and I just had to, like, I'm like, I want to quit golf, like I was just this so much emotional and just pressure. It was all in my own head. And I was just like, oh, and then she's just like, it's all right, babe, and then we sat down, and she's like, if you want to go back to it, you can, it's fine. And then I started letting, everyone knowing, and everyone that I talked to just said, Louis, we want you to be happy. Whatever it is you do in life, we just want you to be your full authentic self. And whether that's golf, whether it's coaching golf, whether it's surfing, whether it's playing music, whether it's cooking, whether it's doing whatever, being a cafe barista, whatever you want, just as long as you're happy. And it just took this weight off my shoulders.
I'll just
jump in.
Cut in and just talk about myself a bit.
Yes, please. I'd love
but
to.
I can just relate to that because I quit teaching. So I did 4 years of study. Everyone knew I was doing it. I was working hard. I got pregnant before I even finished. So I only taught for a few months. And then I had Aussie. I thought, I've got to go back to work because I'm a teacher. Like, I've done all this study. I've got a HECS debt of 30 grand or something.
Yeah.
And I went back and I was miserable. Every time I went back, I would try a different amount of days. I would try just relief work and it was eating me up. It was constantly, it took me so long. I knew every time I went back, I did not want to be there, but I thought, like, I've got to contribute to the household. I've got to prove myself, which I know now is not what I needed to be doing. But I know that build up of, there was one term that I was supposed to be going back to school and I physically couldn't go back. And it took so much just to say, like, I can't do this. Like, I can't go back. And for me, I can't really go back ever. I don't want to. Like, I'm done. And the day that I quit, I went into the local post office and the 3 people in front of me in the line were teachers. And so I'm standing there, I'm like, okay, universe, yep, I know you're trying to bloody test me, but I made my decision. But then I also took myself out to Sleaford, which is like my place, a very traditional place, so I honour and respect country. But on the way out there, the car that I'm still manifesting was driving in front of me on the way out. I was like, okay, I got this.
Nice.
Was there anything that happened for you once you did make the call with golf? Is there anything that sort of gave you that little spark of hope, like, okay, I can maybe be more myself now, be more authentic, or I can create something different now?
Yeah, no, well, I end up going on like I have 6 months where I was really lost, and I hit drugs and alcohol pretty hard and whacked up a massive credit card debt. And, Kristen supported me through that. She was, she was coming home, and I was just drinking wine at like 10 in the morning. And then I was just trying to take boys out for lunch and give them a good time and just escape reality. Because in my head, I was like, I just spent 15 years of my life pursuing professional golf, and I've got nothing to my name. I'm a failure. That was so in my head. And then my next door neighbour gave me this book, Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins. And I just had a bit of a flick through there. And I literally just flicked open the book, and it said, change doesn't happen over. He's like, I didn't even know this guy, Tony Robbins. And then he's probably one of the number one, coaches in the world, with even business and money and physically and emotionally, mentally, spiritually. And I didn't know at the time, but he said, change doesn't happen over 10 years or 1 year. Change happens like instantly. Like you can change who you want to be right now with the power of your thoughts. And I was like, fuck off. Like, you don't know what I'm going through. I just spent 15 years of this, and now like I'm reading this book. Yeah, right, whatever. Like, so this is about 6 months into this hideous hole, and it's amazing that Kristen stuck by me. And so I just said, fine, I'm going, all right, I'm going to change who I am. And the next morning, in the next page, write 10 things you're grateful for, and write, what am I excited about? What am I happy about? What am I proud about? What am I committed to? What am I enjoying right now? Who loves me and who do I love? And I write those questions down. I'm getting tingles up my spine now because this is like the defining moment. And I wrote those down, and then the gratitude, and then I was like, holy shit, here I am at 27 years old thinking I failed, and I have this beautiful wife that do anything for me, financially amazing parents that would do anything for me. I live in Glenelg, I own half a house. I've got 2 arms. I'm like, I'm set to do. I can do, and it literally from that moment, that morning, I've set 2 goals, and one was to get getting comfortable with being uncomfortable, and the other one was to say yes to every opportunity. And so that was my 2015. I've actually got it in my diary. I was only reading the other day, and it's so nice because of my journaling and stuff. And so from that moment, I went from just the rock bottom hole, and that was my awakening right there. And that was just the way the universe had to do it for me. And golf has made me manifest my life to what it is now, because now I've got my routine where, like where you said about those lows before, do I have the lows? I haven't for probably the last 6 months now. Like I wake up in the morning, and every morning I'll clean my teeth, I'll have a heap of water, alkaline, I'll do some breathing. And then I have the 3 M's that I've been meditating for about 10 years, but I've literally only tailored this one probably the last 12 months, which is just really working for me. So I call it the 3 M's, and this is just me learning off all different meditators and Joe Dispenza and all these other amazing people. So like mindfulness, meditation, and then manifestation. So the mindfulness is, what can I see? What can I smell? What can I taste? What can I hear? What can I feel? So that brings me straight back to that present moment. And then I'll just sit there and just go like, I can see the patterns, I can smell the essential oils, I can taste the apple cider vinegar, the alkalining, I can hear the tunes I've got going, the cars going past, I can feel my weight on the ground. And then I'll just like go through that, and then I'll blend them all together, the 5 senses all together. And once I've done that, I'll go to my breath, and that's just passive breath, where I'm just watching it go in and out. And then once I get into that state, that might sometimes be 30 seconds, sometimes be 5 minutes, sometimes be 10 minutes. Depends what was happening the night before and stuff. And then I have specific letters. At the moment, I've got 11 letters now. So F is for full of liquid gold. And I visualize like a nucleus around this F and full of liquid gold for me, and what it means for me to be selling, 1,000 pouches of broth a day, and how I can help that many people, and the money that's coming in. So then I can, Chris and I can start our own like philanthropy stuff and help people, to create this really nice thing to money. Like we know what we need financially as a couple and to support ourselves and get debt free. And if we make 1 million or 10 million, 100 million, whatever it is, all that other money we can go into philanthropy to help change the world. So we actually create a positive vibration to that money. So the F is I've already feeling that I'm selling 1,000 jars a day, and how I'm helping people, and cooking show and the cookbook I've written and all this, and I've already done it. So I'm already manifesting that feeling, and it's already coming to me. So that's how I start. So I'll do the 10 letters. So there's F.
Can I just ask about F, or say something about F? Is it with your manifesting, do you act as if, like you say, it's already done, but do you act as if you're that person already? You are the person that's already made $1 million, $10 million. You're already helping all these people. Do you step into that identity already?
So it's for me, I'm grateful that it's already happened and the universe will align. It's nearly like a little oxymoron sort of thing, because I'm grateful for the life I live right now, and I don't need any more. Like right now is perfect, is exactly where I'm meant to be. But at the same time, I create the gratitude feeling as if it's already happened. And then I just send those signals out in that manifestation. And then I just let the synchronicities throughout the day. And then I just go back to the present moment. So that's in that meditation. That's where I go. And so then I've got those all the like M's for music, and being able to create amazing music, bring people together. W's for wine. B's for bi individuality. So healthy body at a cellular level, clean, glowing skin, muscly, all that. L's for love, direct love for Kristen, love for myself, love for mum and dad, love for all my direct family, brother and sister, niece, and nephews. And then R's for relationships, I's for investment, V's for vacation, G's for golf, and P's for philanthropy, so further down. So I go through these letters so this might take 10 or half an hour, 45 minutes. And then at a subconscious level, whenever I read those letters, it's sending a signal to my brain that feeling's going to come back without me even knowing it. So it's taken me 10 years to this is my little personal meditation.
Yeah.
You can or cannot do it. I'm more than happy if you want to do it, go for it. And you can create whatever letters you like, but this is what's been. So I start my day like that every morning, and in this super high vibration of everything's already manifested. And so then I'll go about my day and just like I'm on this high all day.
Is that morning routine, is that a non-negotiable? You do that every morning?
So I'll do that. Oh, and if I miss it, I don't beat myself up. Okay. But that's like if I'm somewhere, but there's not very many times I can think where I've actually missed it.
Yeah.
What happens is I have synchronicities throughout the day, like you messaging me, email, a friend messaging me. I talked to Shane Grokey the other day. I haven't talked to for like 6 years, and just the conversations with my sister yesterday, just little things and synchronicities, whether it's someone asking for wine or a gig or the broth. And I'm just like, it's just too canning for this to be a consistent thing. It's this works for me, and it's not for everyone, but I know it's like, I've just got this amazing life, and I'm so grateful that I've on this planet and got to get in. And 2021 is going to be huge. I've got so much stuff happening, and every day I'm just pumped to get that. And that meditation, or the 3 M's, I'm so excited to do it, because I just surrender throughout the day. And then like I bump into someone and I just go with my intuition now, and I'm getting fairly tapped into it. So like I have an urge to go to the gym, I'll go at that time. I have an urge to take Wally for a run, I go there. If I need to make more broth, I go there. And every day talking to people and helping people. And it's just end of the day, I'm like, wow, can't believe that happened. But I sort of can believe it now, because it's happening all the time.
Even with this conversation, I said to you, I knew that I wanted you on here before I even started this. I knew I wanted my friend Jess Jolly, who's been a client. She's a friend.
Yeah.
She's someone I speak to every day, and I knew I wanted you. And for some reason, I just hadn't asked. And then I was in Adelaide last weekend, staying in Glenelg, and I walked past a pub, and somebody was playing in there.
Wow.
So I thought, well, I'm bloody. It's quite exciting.
Oh, isn't that crazy?
Yeah. I'm going to ask about business, and
Yeah.
I want to ask whether you do have a method, or what's your marketing, I don't want to say marketing strategy, but how is an authentic way to you to connect with people?
Yeah. So that's a great question. And with me at the moment, like, I've got my Instagram and Facebook, and people know what I'm about and doing. And I've just been waiting literally for the universe to sort of come and give me this opportunity. And literally last week, fella, I can't really go into it too much,
Yeah,
but
that's fine.
I just mentored him for an hour, and then he just unraveled this stuff about that they're going to be doing this new kitchen that's going to be at 128 million, and he works for these guys, and he's like, you just, this what you're doing, we could turn it into this. And I'm like, wow, is this really happening? This is what I've been waiting for. Instead of trying to push the broth to go into heaps of Facebook ads and heaps of Instagram ads and stuff, and going into trying to make a big batch in an industrial kitchen, because I'm still making it home. So at the moment, I'm literally just rolling with the universe. So I'll just keep being me, and I love doing little posts on videos and myself, and just it's literally, that's just who I am. And I know it's taken me 33 years, like probably last 12 months, I still had a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of that stuff, but like last 6 months, so I'm just like, I know that I'm putting out this vibration that I'll connect with certain people, and there'll be other people that I won't connect with. And it's perfectly fine. And this has helped with my music. It's helped me with my Instagram posts, because if someone's judging, or if someone's jealous, or someone's, just negatively, or whatever it is, it's like, for me, I have all these amazing quotes, and everybody's trying to do the best they can at that particular time with what they have. And I know I don't put any negativity to them back, or any hatred they've got, like whether it's a gig, or you can feel that energy, or someone writes a bad comment or anything like that. I just give them like unconditional love, and it's like, they've got parents, they might have been sexually abused when they were a kid. Whatever's happened is just a reflection of themselves back to them. So that just gives me this amazing confidence, just to be a 100% authentically me, without sort of feeling like, oh, did I say that right, or should I said that? Because I look back at it and go, I couldn't have changed anything, because that's exactly who I am. And that little stutter I did is just who I am. And I have a little bit of dyslexia, and that's the way my creative brain is like I'm ages to read, but my creative brain, that's where all my power's going into. So that's, why don't I use that for my strength? So, still working on those things, and just trying to be authentically. So going back to the business side, I love word of mouth, and just, I want to grow the bone broth as authentically and organically from the bottom up. So I want, literally, say we helping 1 million people around Australia at one stage, everyone nearly knows me as a community. So, because that person recommended, they said, oh, have you seen this guy? And like, he does this, and he's got this program, you can lose weight. And if you want, you do personal one-on-one mentoring, he can help you. And, he does all these ice bath things, and he's like, he takes magic mushrooms, and, he's microdosing LSD. He's like, he's a pretty crazy cat, but he seems pretty good. Like, he's onto it. So I want that to, just authentically grow. And I know it's going to take a lot longer, but I know in 10 years, we'll have every person on board. It's going to be passed because their brother recommended it, or their auntie recommended it, or their sister recommended it. And it's building it from the ground up, instead of me being this massive CEO or whatever. I want to be equal underneath everyone, and then being able to teach the things I teach, and then have them to have the confidence and be, because I'm no guru, like Louis Fuller's no guru. I've just learned off all these people, and I'm going to keep learning. I can just give it to them. And then when they go, thank you, Louis, like you've changed my life, I go, no, you reached out to me. But yeah, you reached out to me. You're the one that's like wanting to help yourself. So I've just passed on information. So you pat yourself in the back and take 100%, responsibility of that, and being proud of it. And then that sends them to, holy shit, like I did do this. Like, and Louis just learned from other people, and I'm just learning through Louis. And now I can teach that to other people, and I can because I'm feeling so much better. And then you get to like exactly what you said before, that ripple effect, is you pass that on. And they don't need to rely on me. They don't need to rely. They've got that, and if they need some other tips or whatever, I'm more than happy to, talk to them. And then that way, that's my vision of just growing it. It's going to take a lot longer, but I'll be here for a long time. Touch wood, and just doing my thing. So that's how I'm wanting to do it, and waiting for the universe to give me opportunities to go about it and go from there. And here we are doing a podcast.
To me, it seems when you speak of that, it doesn't seem like your growth or your business plan as such is linear or step by step. To me, it either feels like it's a cyclical thing or it's something that's more expansive. So like we are saying, you don't want to be a CEO, you want to be on the same level as everyone. It just seems really we're saying authentic a lot, but I think that's really defines it as being authentic to you. This is how you want your business to grow, your life to be. It's how you want to be. Something that I still struggle with, or still question, or it's an identity, a belief that comes up for me, is I don't technically have any qualifications, or I'm a self-learner. Like you, I seek that information, I learn that information to help other people. So sometimes I get a bit of that imposter syndrome. Do you get that at all? Or like, I find it really hard when people ask me, so what do you do for a living? I'm like, well, I do a bit of this, a bit of this. So how do you, if you get imposter syndrome, how do you manage that, deal with it?
Yeah, I think when I did a 12-month course, the Institute of Integrative Nutrition. So that's based in New York, and that's a holistic way of healing. So like we do relationships, spiritually, like Ayurvedic work, 100 different diets, and pretty much teaching 12-month course. And so like that's I'll classify, if people want to know, I'll just say I'm a health lifestyle strategist is what I put myself under. But it took me a little bit to get to that point, and as
To identify
I
with
had,
it.
and I had what you were saying there,
Imposter syndrome.
Yeah, imposter syndrome. And it's, for me, I was probably just worried about highly qualified people and stuff, saying, how can you give this advice and all this stuff. And then I sort of meditated on it every day, and I was like, why am I having these feelings? Why is this, that? And I said, you know what? People are coming to me for questions and they're wanting advice, and I don't have all the answers, but I have strategies in plan that actually can help them. And I think I saw it on the news, some Instagram, influencer or whatever had 1 million followers, and they're giving juice advice or something like that. And then there was a big controversy, and the girl, she's getting grilled, and I was like, wow, that could be me one day, like blah, blah, blah. But she's just like, I'm just helping people, and people don't have to follow me. They can swipe and they can delete me. They can do, and so, and Tim Ferriss, I remember listening to him, and he said, you're going to have 1% haters no matter what you're in, any career, any business, whatever. And if you're I'm a pitter, like a vortex, so I'm a energetic sort of a leader. That's my personality. So he said, if you're definitely like that, you're going to have 1%. So if you get 100 followers, you're going to have this one hater. If you have 1 million like followers, you're going to have 10,000 people that hate your guts. Are you going to focus on that 10,000, or are you going to focus on the 990,000 like that you're actually genuinely helping change their lives? And I just remember thinking, oh yeah, like, you know what? I just got to keep being me and just draw that in, and just know that if people ask what I do, and I still stumble. Like, it depends, because I'm playing music, and sometimes I play music, and then people like this, like I've shown my business card or whatever, the website, and they're like, you got so much going on. And I was like, well, I've just got my passions into profit. So, and that's what I've always want, but my passion is helping people and that. So, and I never really boast about it unless they ask, like, so is music your day job? Like, so is that what you just do? I'm like, well, you know, got dabble in wine and have this bone broth business, and I do some baristering, and, you know, I do some health coaching and stuff. So then, unless we get into it, you know, it's just because otherwise I'm just talking about myself. And if I'm talking about myself, I don't learn anything. So I love listening, like, and I love we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. And right now, obviously, you're interviewing me, so I am talking like a lot because that's the podcast. That's fine. But it's not, you know, I don't get to boast about myself too much. You know, I'm just meditating and stuff. So, but I've always, and another little quote, you have 2 ears and 1 mouth. So listen double the amount of time you should speak. And just that little thing, you know, you have that in your brain, and you're like, we've got 2 ears for a reason. Evolution's got that.
Yeah.
If we had 2 mouths, we should speak the same as mouths as we hear, because we've got 2 ears, but we've only got 1 mouth. So you should shut up sometimes and just listen and just think, all right. And yeah, just all these little quotes over the times get, like, you know, everyone's on their journey, you know, on their own path, and they're trying to do the best they can with the knowledge that they have at that particular time. And, you know, that one I did on Monday, like, when life's effortless, you're on the right track. And when it's a struggle, it's just redirecting you to the right track. And it's just all these little words and quotes. And every day I just think of what happens. And, you know, I smashed the jug the other day or something, and it just went, and like, you know, you swear or something, but I just like went that, and I'm like, it happened like within like 1 second. I was surprised. I was like, that happened for a reason, and I wonder why, and I'll work it out some stage. You know, I'm vacuuming and making sure I don't get glass in Wally's foot and all those things.
One thing that people, for some reason, I've been hearing it a lot recently, like, say if you smash a glass and people say, oh, it comes in threes, like, something else is going to happen. And I just go, that. No, it doesn't. Like,
yeah, it does. It does. If you manifest it in threes.
I know. So I'm
like, say it comes in threes, it comes in threes.
Yep. So if something, like, for me, I know when I'm out of alignment or not in my body, because I fucking crash into doors or like don't make it through the doorway. So I go, oh, okay. I pull myself up. I do a little heart check-in. I take a few deep breaths. Where do I need to realign myself? So the 2 and 3 doesn't manifest.
Massive. And like, just thinking about, like, that's 2020. Like, it's a nice thing to just put on Instagram for people. Oh, I can't wait till 2020 is over and 2021. And that's just in your, like, it's another interpretation, because everything's in our brain. So we can't experience anything out of our brain. So it's us and ourselves. And so it's like, well, no, 2020, I'm not going to boast about it. It was a great year, and I'm looking forward to 2021 and changing your mindset. And, you know, going, oh, I wonder if 21 is going to be like 2020. You're already manifesting it. Like, straight, that energy is straight going out. And yeah, you know, like Jerry and Esther Hicks and their law of attraction stuff. And I'm massive on the transfer of the energy, and just it's only because, like, at 8 years old, that manifestation of cricket has turned me into golf. And then now, like, the last 5 years, I went from nothing, and then, like, I was on an X Factor in 2016, and then I got this barista job, and then I made this wine, and then he mentored me, and then now I've got my own label, and then, like, the broth come about, and I've always played music, and we've done another album, and doing renos to the house this year, and I'm spending heaps of coin, and like, it just keeps on going, like, and it's just amazing. I'm so grateful, like, and so humbled that I've managed to find it at, you know, I feel at a young age, at 33, I feel like, you know, because I talked to a couple other people that have tapped into what I'm into, and they're like, if only I knew this when I was 20 and I was playing AFL like this,
Yeah.
or if I only knew this. I'm like, mate, you can't change the past. Just be grateful that you know it now.
Yeah.
Because if you're 40 or 50 or 60, that's cool. You still got another like 100 years to whatever you're going to live. So,
Yeah.
like, that's why. Because if I go, I wish I knew this when I was golfing, and then I would have been a professional golfer. That's a massive negative energy. Something's going to come back negative there. Where I go, I'm so grateful that I spent 15 years working my absolute ass off at golf, and it failed because it defined the person I am right now, and it's put me into the journey of where I'm meant to be, and then that's helping people. So
Yeah.
it's exactly what my journey is
Amazing.
meant to be.
Is there a way that you set up your day or your week to be quote unquote productive? So do you have certain days to do certain things, or like other days you're busier than other days? How does your
Yeah, well,
week
I'm
look? Or how does your
so fortunate to work for
environment
myself.
look?
Yeah, well, I'm so fortunate to work for myself. And Kristen, she has one work day off a week. She works every second weekend, so it works quite good when now I'm gigging a lot again. So literally, I'll sort of sit down Sunday night and I'll see that I've got a gig Friday and Saturday, a barista Saturday morning. The markets for the broth and stuff are closed Monday. So Monday's usually my rest day, just like me day, unless Kristen's got the day off and it's a us day. Tuesday is usually like I'll go in the markets because it's the first day they open. I'll get all the ingredients for the broth and pump that out. And just depends how many sales. Like I'll do 50-litre pot there. So that does 50 jars. And like a bad week is 50 jars. And then a good week will be up to like 250 jars. So sometimes I'll do like 5 of those pots a week. So it just depends how many orders I've had, what I've talked about. So then I sort of know pretty much a weekly thing because I know my weekends and the gigs, and I'm going to be gigging late there, and then I've got to get up early to barista so that we get tired, and then I'm going to try and have afternoon sleep because then I've got a Saturday gig, and then Sunday I've got another gig. All right, so I need to make sure I'm prepped. So Monday I'm just going to really chill. Tuesday I can pump out that broth. Wednesday I can do deliveries. Thursday I'll pump out another broth. And Friday, I can do some more broth or deliveries, and then just make sure I'm not too overworked for that Friday, and then I set myself up. I'm going to lose some sleep and then catch back up on Sunday.
And
So
how do you set up the environment in your house to work?
so just at the moment, I've just got the like little kitchen there. So I'll and then I'll have a to-do list. So I'm learning new songs. So I'm going to a wedding in Sydney in April. So I'll have just the little to-do list in my diary. I'm old-fashioned pen to paper. I'm very therapeutic because I used to write, or still write songs, and just that pen to paper has been amazing for me. So I was still old-fashioned. So I've got the pen to paper in the diary Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then each day we're like, all right, Sarah needs 10 jars of broth. Yeah. Lucy needs 5. Yeah. Sam needs 15.
And you always have, well, to me, it seems like you always have music pumping.
Yeah. Well, that gives me massive energy. So
Is it
lots
ever
of good
just
tunes.
chilled music, or is it always quite?
Kristen likes the chilled music, so I chill music, and then when I'm playing guitar, and then I've got like full side trance when I'm just by myself because Kristen doesn't like that, so I get it as much as I can.
And does that get you in the zone though? That's okay, I'll get shit done now.
Yeah, it was a bit of a frequency thing. I love it. So and then I'll just have that list, and then like I love my fitness, and I've got Wally who's 3 now, English Staffy, and he loves the beach, so I'm into ground, and everything from, like I said, cold therapy. We're getting a brand new infrared sauna in our Renos. This 2-story joint that we're fitting in. It's gonna be amazing. Like grounding mats, sleeping in grounding bed, salt lamp, and just all the little things I've learned from all these people to give me the best sleep possible. It doesn't have to be super long, but compressed real window. And then and every day is an experiment for me because the best thing is I'll try something for myself to see if it works, and if I'm feeling epic on it, I'll write it down why it works. If I'm feeling feel a bit lethargic or something's going on, I'll write that down and write what food it was and stuff. And then the next day, all right, that didn't work, let's try this. And so then each day, and we're a multi-trillion, 100 trillion cell organism. So we're creating cells are dying. We can turn cancer cells on, we can turn them off, the DNA and stuff. So it's working out the way intentionally how to feel the best I can feel, and just fit all that in, and go through my day with so then I can get the fitness, because I love doing some fitness or yoga or whatever it is, or gym, and then make sure I get those jobs and times right. And so like this morning I put a broth on at 6:30 in the morning, so 6. So I did my meditation after, because I wanted to get that on. Went out for dinner for Enzo's last night with folks, which is amazing. But sometimes I'll be jarring up broth at midnight because I couldn't get it on, because it takes 2 hours to prep to get it to boil, another 4 hours to boil. It's about a 7 to 8 hour process.
Wow.
So sometimes I'm so lucky. I'm never really had to work, so I'm never going to retire. Like I've got that mindset of just get to help people. Like I don't get paid to make broth. I get paid to sell broth. Like I get paid that by the jar. So I don't get paid by the hour or nothing. So it doesn't matter when I work. Music's a bit different because I get paid by the hour there. And wine's the same, all that work I do up there, all the money's thousands of dollars you're losing because you have to spend on the wine and the fermentation and everything. And then you wait a year and a half and then you release it and this big cash flow comes through. Yeah. So
it's just that's that flow and rhythm that suits you and suits your lifestyle.
Yeah. And I'm very fortunate to have those three, incomes and be able to work for myself and manifest this dream life. And my first album was called Living the Dream. I think back I can't believe I wrote that even 11 years ago. And it's just like the love juice. I didn't know about the Masura Emoto with the hidden messages in water. Yeah. I'm like, is that like just an intuition thing? And I don't know, but it is. And it just
you are totally on the right path. Can you tell people where we can find you?
Yeah, well,
details.
Either just if they want to know some information on fasting and getting rid of inflammation and stuff like that, they can go direct to my website, which is fullerliquidgold.com.
Fullerliquidgold.com.
Yeah, Fuller. So my last name's Fuller. So
we'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah, sick. Fullerliquidgold.com. And then I've got a Fuller Liquid Gold Facebook page and Instagram page. My music is Louis Fuller, and then my Instagram account, which is broadly everything, is Louis Fuller Live. So LIVE, Louis Fuller Live. And then people, if they just want to contact me direct, all my email and phone numbers on the Fuller Liquid Gold website. And same on the Just Louis Wines website. But
people can come to you with a range of support that they're seeking, and you can give them strategies, you can give them advice, you can give them habitual rituals, you can give them nutrition advice, mindfulness advice, all of that.
Yeah, 100%. And just remember, whoever's listening to this, like they're meant to be listening to this right this moment, right whenever it is. It might be a year from now, might be a week from now, might be 2 years from now. But you're meant to be listening to this. So,
and it may not be for, sorry to cut you off, but it may not be for them that they're listening to. It may be
exactly
for someone else to pass on your information or my information, and
and that's it. You can pass my information on, but until someone's willing and able to help themselves, then they can reach out, and then I never force anything down anyone's throat. And that, I think doing that course, integrative nutrition course, is great, because it was literally like everyone's DNA is different. So how I digest broccoli to how you is different. How I digest anything, how I breathe air is different. It's like so that just gives me this humbleness of like, this is what I've experimented with the last literally 10 years. This is what's worked for me. but there's so many other avenues you can go down. And you know, it's just, I can just filter all the knowledge I just want to pass on to other people if they want to know it, and then they can run with it, experiment with it. And then usually it's all pretty connected with all the top gurus and stuff. Like, they're all
Yeah.
interweaving the spiritually, mentally, business. It's the best thing about the internet now. It's bringing everyone together and linking everything up. And this huge awakening is happening, which is so exciting. I'm pumped for the next so many years. Even though I'm living in the present, it's
Yeah.
exciting to see what will happen in 10 years and 20 and 30 and 40 and 50. It's just, I just have no idea what's going to happen, but I'm excited.
So excited. I feel like that way too. So much so that on Monday I have a program starting. Well, it's not actually a program. It's a healing with some women, and it's called the Reawakening. So here we are.
Nice.
Thank you so much, Louis. I am beyond appreciative for your time, for your words, for your wisdom, and for the connection that we share and will continue to share.
Absolutely, Tess. No, thank you so much, and gratitude to you always. And yeah, you're doing an awesome job. And thanks for taking action on this podcast. And you're just doing good things for a lot of people.
Thanks.